Jacob Wheeler signed my hat. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel in another installment in my complete knot tying series, Knot Easy. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to tie my most frequently used and most trusted line to leader connection knot, the Alberto knot. I use this knot almost exclusively on the water for tying my mainline braid to my fluorocarbon and monofilament leaders because it's extremely easy to tie and super dependable. We're going to get right into tying the knot, but before we do, if you guys do enjoy the video today or learn something of value here, I'd appreciate it if you'd like, comment, or subscribe. And now, let's go tie a knot. To get started with the Alberto knot, we first just want to take our leader line, and we want to fold over about a 6-inch section of that. And I like to secure it between my pinky and ring finger, and then again with my middle finger on top of that. If you secure it with only these two fingers by pinching the lines together, it can slip out really easy as you're tying the knot. However, when you employ that middle finger for an additional bit of security, it makes it stay put really easily. So now what we have here is a loop at the end of our leader line, and what I'm going to do is take my main line braid and I'm going to feed that up through that loop, and I'm going to pull out about 8 inches of it, and I'm just going to set that over here to the side. Next, with my index finger on my free hand, I'm just going to reach up through this loop, and I'm going to pinch that main line braid against the top of the loop just like that. And now at this stage we're going to begin performing our wraps using the tag end of our main line, using our free fingers, and we're going to do 7 wraps in total, heading down away from the top of that loop. And at the end of our 7 wraps, we're going to pinch right here at the bottom, and now we can actually let go of everything else. So now we have 7 total wraps around our doubled over leader line, and we're applying tension here with our index finger and thumb. And what we're going to do is take that tag end and now go back in the opposite direction, wrapping toward the top of the loop. And as you're performing these wraps on the way back up, you want to make sure your line falls in the gaps between the braid on your initial wraps. So we're just going to take our time here, and we're going to wrap our way back up, making sure that each time we go around, our braid is falling into those gaps. And once you've hit all those gaps and you've made it back to the loop, you want to take your tag in now, and we're going to feed it through that loop, exiting in the same direction as our main line. In this case, both the main line and tag end are exiting on the bottom side of the loop. So bringing it in a little bit closer so you guys can see, both my main line and my tag end are exiting through the bottom of the loop here. And now it's time to cinch the knot, and I already have a good grip on my leader line because of the way I wove it through my fingers at the beginning, but now I'm just going to take my tag end of my main line and the main line itself, and I'm going to wrap those, get a good grip on it, and we're going to slide that up, and we're going to go ahead and cinch our knot down, just like that. And it's always a good idea at this stage to go ahead and wrap it again on both sides and just give it a couple of extra pulls just to make sure that braid really bites into that leader material. And our last step here is to trim our 2 tag ends, and I'm going to trim my leader tag end as close as possible to the knot, and I'm going to trim my main line tag end about 1/4 inch away from the knot. I'm trimming the leader tag end as close as possible to the knot because if you don't, it can stick out and catch on the guides, and over time it can weaken the integrity of the knot. With my mainline tag end, I'm leaving about 1/4 inch just to account for any minor slippage, and also that soft braid is not going to catch on the guides like the fluorocarbon does. And there you have it, guys, a completed Alberto knot. And as you guys can see, it's pretty dang strong. And now, just to make the process even easier to follow, let's go ahead and watch that again in slow motion. And we're back. As you guys have seen, the Alberto knot is extremely easy to tie, and as mentioned before, it's extremely dependable. The only times that I deviate from the Alberto knot is when I'm using a heavy leader, something with a thick diameter, like anything 25-pound test and above. Because the leader is doubled up at the connection point, it does have a thicker diameter than some other line to leader connections. So in those cases where I'm using a leader with a thicker diameter, I'll tend to go with something that's a little bit thinner, like an FG knot. It just comes through the guides more easily. But outside of those special cases, I'm exclusively using the Alberto knot. And if you guys are still tying the uni to uni knot, which is a perfectly simple and suitable knot in many cases, I highly suggest the Alberto knot as the next step up in your line to leader knot tying arsenal. That's gonna do it for today's installment of Not Easy, and I hope you guys did find some value in it. If you did find this helpful, I'm leaving links down in the description to the rest of my Not Easy series, as well as my Not Easy short series, so you guys can add some more knots to your arsenal. Subscribe if you guys wanna see more, and don't forget, Jacob Wheeler signed my hat.